Welcome to Good Money Guide TV. In this video we're going to review IG. We're going to discuss whether or not they're still the biggest and the best broker for online trading. We're going to tell you what we like about them, what we don't like about them. So hopefully you can make a decision as to whether or not they're the right broker for your trading. Keep watching. Now, before we begin this review, I must disclose a bit of an interest. I'm actually a big fan of IG. In my mind, they are the default broker. When we review brokers on the Good Money Guide, we tend to ask the question, why would you use this broker instead of IG? I've had an account with IG for 20 years. They were the first online trading platform I ever used. And actually, amazingly enough, it turns out that I went to school with the daughters of the guy who founded it. Of course, I didn't know that at the time. I remember their first online trading platform when it was basically just a messaging system. You'd message the dealers to buy or sell something, they'd message you back that you were filled, and then the position would drop onto your positions tab. When I was interning on the NYMEX and IPE trading floors, 15 years ago, I'd tap away on IG and my Ericsson 380 trying to emulate the bigger traders in the pit. And in fact, I had such a great time trading with IG that along with trading places, I hold them fully accountable for the so-called path my career has taken. IG was founded in 1974 by Stuart in the attic of a Chelsea townhouse. At the time, it was set up so that punters could bet on the price of gold rather than having to trade futures contracts. Of course, over time, the product range has expanded, the name has changed. It's gone from being Investors Gold Index to IG Index, and now to just IG. Of course, it's very fashionable at the moment. Hargreaves Lansdown is known as HL, Interactive Investor is known as HI, and Interactive Brokers is known as IBKR. If you read his autobiography, Winning Against the Odds, My Life in Gambling and Politics, it's very obvious that IG was founded for the love of the business. You can tell that Stuart Wheeler had a real love of gambling and the financial markets. It's a great read, really. It's very witty, there's lots of anecdotes, there's some stuff about Lord Lucan, he's incredibly indiscreet, there are some fairly dated views, but it generally gives a really good insight into how the business was founded and what the industry was like in its infancy. And that really brings me on to my first point. I think in finance there's two types of business. There's the type of business that spots a gap in the market and exploits that to extract money from customers. And then there's another type of business that's in it because they love the industry and they want to be the best at what they do. And I hope that IG is still like that. It certainly used to be like that in the old days. And in fact, I hope we're like that at the Good Money Guide. Our objective is not to be the biggest, but we want to be the best at reviewing brokers. We want to provide balanced information so that you can make the right choice about who to trade with. And that's certainly the impression I got from when I interviewed the now CEO, Felix. IG very much has this attitude that it's best to be on the client's side because they want to form long-term relationships with their customers. They're not part of that churn and burn mentality. They want customers to trade with them for 20 years plus because they can make more money out of a customer that trades with them for 20 years rather than the one just puts some money in and loses it within a couple of days. This, I think, was most evident in the big bonus push of 5 or 10 years ago when everybody was offering sign-up bonuses and incentives to try and draw business away from the other brokers. You could get, say, a £5,000 deposit bonus if you put fewer enough trades. But IG sort of stood back and says, no, we're not getting involved in that. We're going to win business because we provide the best service and the best platform. Whether or not that was the case or whether or not you agree with it, tell us in the comments. If you like IG, tell us what you like about them. If you don't like IG, tell us what you don't like about them. You can tell us in the comments below, or you can go to the Good Money Guide website and fill in our survey, which will enable you to rank IG against all the other trading platforms out there. It gives us some really good insights into what people like about certain trading platforms and what they don't like about them. So what does IG do? Well, IG is primarily a spread betting and CFD broker. They offer access to 17,000 markets. They also offer longer-term investment products through general investing accounts, ISAs, and smart portfolios, but mainly they're a spread betting and CFD broker. One draw for big clients of IG is that whilst they do internalise orders, they have symmetrical exposure limits, so they don't take a view on the markets. This means two things. First, IG are not betting against you with a B book. And secondly, if you're a big trader, because of their liquidity, there may actually be bigger volumes on IG's bid and offer than in the underlying market. You also get positive slippage, so if you place a limit order and the market dips below, you'll get filled at a better price, even though you've put a limit in. You can trade 24 hours on major indices, forex and commodity markets. There are extended hours on global equities with some fairly significant volume goes through, particularly on the US equities where company announcements are made after the market shuts. And in fact, IG is one of the few brokers to allow trading during the weekend, so you can still take a view or limit your exposure if something big comes out whilst the main markets are closed. One feature that's now unique to IG, a lot of other brokers used to do it, but it's only IG now, is they offer a grey market, so you can take a view on where a company is going to come to market. They'll make you a price on the market cap on the closing day of a company's first day of trading. Or you can just apply for shares in the IPO. You have to do that through primary bid at the moment, but they'll be delivered into your IG account. IG also have this quite nice knack of looking at specific regions and tailoring their products just for that market. In the UK, for example, it's the only country that benefits from financial spread betting. The rest of the world trades margin on CFDs. Of course, with the exception of Americans who trade mainly on margin by taking out a loan to buy stock from their broker, or trade options, which are much more popular than equities. Japan has knockouts, Europe has barrier options and turbo warrants. And talking of options, IG has one of the widest range of index, forex and commodity options. If you want to trade stock options, you can, although you have to do it over the phone in the UK. You'll be able to do it soon online, they say, but at the moment you have to go through their voice brokerage service. If you have a professional account, you can still trade binary options with IG. They're now called digital 100s, but the product is basically the same. I'm actually quite a fan of binary options. You know, they got a very bad rap because the FCA refused to regulate them, and they were basically enveloped by scammers. But essentially, it's a form of limited risk short-term bet. So actually, as a trading product, they're quite good. It's just that they got a very bad reputation. And I think for the benefit of everybody, they were banned to retail traders who were quite easily scammed. Now, IG's trading platform has gone through many iterations in the 20 years that I've been using. As I said at the beginning of this video, they started off as basically just a messaging system, but now it's a sort of all-encompassing, integrated DIY platform. There is still voice brokerage if you want to use it, but mainly transactions go through online. And that's actually something IG is very keen to push, their added value. The platform tries to integrate as much as possible. For example, IGTV is based on the platform analytics of what people are trading, so they create programs around what markets their traders are actually looking at. There's also news and analysis, which comes from Thomson Reuters with snapshot videos and a series of IG marketing commentary videos. IG do, of course, have an institutional service, so if you are a high volume trader, you can trade DMA or direct market access, so you can get access to the exchange's order book, and that will give you better fills when you're dealing, because you can get inside the price. This can be done on the IG trading app if you have the level 2 subscription, or by downloading the L2 dealer software. There's a cost, of course, but if you put a few trades through, that's rebated back to you. Obviously, IG has to pay for that live data from the exchanges, so they just won't let everybody have it for free unless they're using it. And if you're really clever and have developed your own trading system or algorithm, you can plug that into MT4 or MT5 if you're into that sort of thing. There's a fairly active forum in the IG community. It's not quite as social media as someone like eToro, but there are a few thousand traders from IG chatting away in there, and some of the staff get involved as well if anybody's got any issues or needs advice on one of the features. As with other brokers, there's auto charters as well. That's integrated into the system, and the way they add value there is by having a copy to order button. So if you see a signal that you like, you can just tap the copy to order, and that will put it straight into the trading platform as an order to execute with the corresponding stops and limits. And you can then tinker with the price by moving the lines on the chart, whether it's the entry line or the existing stop and limit if you've already entered into the signal trade. Now, a problem all brokers are keen to address, including IG, is how to stop their customers losing money. Yes, there are some brokers that take the other side of your trades and like it when you're losing money, but there's also the brokers who want to form longer-term relationships with their customers and try to help them make money. The majority of traders losing money, unfortunately, has always been the case, and was previously always anecdotally noted that around 20% of traders made money. The original IG founder, Stuart mentions it in his book, prior to it being a regulatory requirement that all brokers have to display in marketing and on their websites what percentage of clients lose money when trading spread bets or CFDs. Now, a few brokers have implemented post-trade analytics to help their clients try and win more. And IG's trade analytics tool does just that. Its sole purpose is to try and help traders win more by getting a better understanding of where they profit and in fact lose in markets. It's been developed in-house by IG based on their analytics, and it's there to provide clarity to where traders do well and where they don't do well. In fact, before I did this review, I spent an hour or so on Zoom with James Parry, IG's client experience manager, and he said, we desperately want our clients to make money. We make money from our clients when they trade, so we want them to trade as much and as long as possible. And the way people trade more is by making money. If traders start losing money, they get disinterested, they get disenfranchised, and they go off and do something else. Whereas if a trader's doing well and is making money, they continue to be involved in the markets. And one of the ways IG addresses this is by also offering longer-term investment products where you can buy and hold stocks, ETF and funds in a stocks and shares ISA or IG Smart Portfolio. IG has a trading academy, so you can learn through video and interactive courses, and IG can see from their analytics that clients that use the trading academy actually do better in the longer run than those that don't. So in conclusion, are IG still the biggest and the best online trading platform? Well, unfortunately, they're no longer the biggest. There's lots of VC money and neo brokers out there who are taking over the world. Whether or not they're better in IG is subjective, but tell us, if you think IG is the best broker out there, tell us in the comments below, or go to the Good Money Guide website, fill in our survey and tell us whether you think IG is better than any other brokers out there, or if you think there's lots of better options. It's really what makes a market, it's opinion, and we want to hear what you think of IG. Thanks for watching.